and gentlemen, welcome to the Dueling Bald Guy Show. I am
Bald Guy 1.
Baldilocks, and this is the Great Baldini.
I'll take Great Baldini, yeah.
A pleasure to meet everybody. It is hot as hell.
Yes, hence no hats. That's
yeah,
good.
it's just too hot to have
any kind of
lid.
Yes.
Have a lid on today,
Yeah.
and we're not going to take the shirts off because that's just weird.
That would be really
Just show up, just hairy chest. Hey, what's going on? What's happening, everybody? Anyway, welcome. Flipside Music, What the F.A.Q live, part of the Guitar Prime Time whole Thursday series of whatnots. Look at that. We had 5 people waiting, 2 people, 1 person, and we're gone. And we're
down.
Oh, that's great. Oh, we got one back.
Well, maybe it was
Anyway.
just internet connections.
What's that?
So maybe it was just bad internet connections.
Yeah, it's all right. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, let me know.
Anyway, welcome Thursday, Guitar Prime Time. Sorry we missed you guys last week. Give you guys a quick update, I guess, on what is the happenings here with the building, because it seems like everybody's kind of always asks us what's going on. So whether you're watching it live or watching the recap, kind of get you up to speed. So we're a little bit on hold, waiting for a construction loan to come through. The reason why we didn't do a live stream last week is because nothing was really happening much, but the only hour of the week that something actually had to happen
Was then, yeah.
was Thursday at 4 o'clock. We had a construction meeting, so it was myself and the GC and the inspector from the city of Denver. So walk around, do things, all that kind of stuff. Talk about certain what's getting moved, what's happening here and there, and all this other stuff. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what happened last week. So it's a good thing because at least we're moving forward, right?
Yeah, at least there's some progress, which
There's
is better
some
than...
there's some motion.
Yeah.
But it's just coming along slowly. Hopefully we will get everything together by next week, and hopefully the guys will be back into the swing of stuff. You know, half the front is demoed.
Yes.
You know, it's just we're waiting on
Kind of the last few pieces up there.
Yeah.
Because that's really where the heart of the work is. I mean, the rest of
Yeah.
it, obviously you guys don't know exactly what the building looks like yet, but
Right.
more than 2/3 of the building is not being affected by the build out, so.
It's kind of like if you took the building and put it in thirds,
Yeah.
that's kind of what's going on. It's going to be our warehouse. It's kind of about a third. Then we have this middle section, which is a third, and then the front is a third.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the long and the short.
Yeah. Long and the short of it.
It's warm.
It is warm. It's warm.
It's very warm. So
I'll check in a minute to see if we have any questions from last week. There we go. There's Darrell giving us shit
couple.
already.
You missed the intro.
Yeah.
You're the great Baldini,
Baldini.
and I'm Baldilocks.
Yes.
So that's what you get, Darrell.
And there's Charles. Hey,
Charles, hey, what's happening? Who else we got in here? We got Jimmy,
Paul McNary, Jimmy Bitter, one of the two.
Dastardly Dave. What's up, dude?
Hey, guys.
Good to see you in the on the interwebs, on the stuff. So
The intranets.
hey, Ryan's here. Hey, Ryan,
Hey,
what's
Ryan.
happening? I met with the Ryan, so because we got you here, I met with the dude yesterday. Guy was here.
Oh, that was
Pop.
yeah.
Where do I got any of those? Fizz Pop, B12, vitamin juice drinks.
Yeah.
It's cool. He's kind of an older hippie guy, which is nice. But I was like, hey man, I'm not gonna be tripping balls for the next few hours, am I? Just to be safe. I'm like, but yeah, those are pretty cool.
Well, it is funny because like there is a certain generation that just adamantly tells everybody to take vitamin B12, which I get because it actually is. I mean, I do take some in the morning too. It's definitely helpful with like waking up a bit.
I put it in my coffee.
Yeah. But I was gonna say it is just funny because it's like over a certain age range. I feel like there's all these guys Yeah, transdermal.
For a quicker high of
Yeah.
B12.
Joel, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Back in my day, we injected it. That's the way.
Or freebase and B12
Yeah.
somewhere.
Well, it's even funny because I think in Vietnam they actually did give them like just B vitamin shots, like literal shots.
Oh, really?
In Vietnam. So
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that the Nazi guys were just fucked up on coke, pretty much.
yeah.
They were just speed
Just
freaks.
Coke and B12.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
bunch of.
Why's your guys' Coke kind of yellow? It's like, oh, it's just some B12. Don't worry about it.
They're just speed freaks, going crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, we got some people coming in, got some people
Oh,
going out.
Ariel's in there.
Hey, what's happening?
And yes, we are at the new store. We're just not in the new store,
Yeah,
but we are currently in the new store.
Yes, we are here. It's still under construction.
Yes.
So hopefully, if things go well and everything goes well over the next week or so, hopefully we'll get everything closed that needs to be closed, the construction loans and all that stuff, and we can get guys back in here
Yeah.
swinging hammers and getting shit done. Because I don't want to be in the other shop anymore.
Any longer, yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to focus on one spot. So
Well, and it's almost like when you're reading a book, and we've been on chapter whatever for like a year and a half now. We just want to get to the next chapter fully.
Right.
We want that page. It's like the page change that just won't flip.
yeah, just the fans on it. It keeps blowing it back a few pages.
Yeah, exactly.
Nuts. Driving a speed crazy. Anyway, so there were a couple things.
Oh, for some reason, I think the internet
Oh, the
here
internet.
messed up.
The
Yeah.
internet jumped out.
Yeah.
All right.
On
So
the chat bag.
let's see if there's any questions from last week.
Yeah, and then there were a few.
Coconuts. What a bunch of coconuts.
There were well, not a few questions, but there's been a couple topics this week.
Okay, because I got a topic that I kind of put on the
Well, we barely missed the main topic.
title thing.
Oh, did you? Okay, because I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I'm not sure if I didn't see it yet, but I know there's one particular topic that we barely just missed out on last week because the news kind of broke while we were doing, or no, because we didn't do the stream last week. That was why. But it was fairly recent news. It was the Fender stuff. I don't know. If
Yeah,
that was
that's
part
kind of,
okay. That was
that's basically what I put up here on the kind of the title.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about that. I think it's an interesting thing. You know, Fender. For those of you that may not know, Fender laid off like 300 people.
Well, and I thought there was word that it was 300, soon to be 6.
Oh shit.
But they were just saying it was a first batch, and then another one was supposedly planned. I don't know if that's true yet or not, but
Yeah, so I think it would be interesting to hear
Discuss
your
that.
guys's opinions on that, because I have my thoughts on it. Because here's the thing, you know,
well,
hold on, you guys stay, don't move, still
his
there.
phone sideways. Yeah.
All right, you guys all still there?
Yeah.
Frozen
We're saying
now.
Frozen
Oh.
now. Okay. Well, let us know if it becomes frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, back. All right, great.
All right.
Thanks, Ariel.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Somebody's on the ball here. It definitely ain't us. It's not our fault.
No.
It's definitely not our fault. It is.
This is just one of the many frustrations that we're dealing with, though.
It's been unbelievable with some of the nonsense that is kind of, what do you call it? That is just little shit.
Yeah.
It's like the death by 1,000 cuts or whatever the
Yeah,
hell they call
yeah.
it. Yeah, it's been this week.
Yeah. Like, get away from me, paper.
Yeah. Drive crazy. Anyway, so nothing here is here. Are you connecting to the internet using a rotary phone? Yeah, pretty much almost feels that way.
Rotary phones mechanical a lot. You could probably rely on.
Yeah, analog.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm gonna have Dylan run up to the telephone pole with a can and a string, and we're just gonna have to.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Start making an antenna out of like aluminum foil.
I've done that. Just jam it into the back of the TV.
Yeah.
No
Oh.
sound and very slow.
Well,
Come on, this can't be.
all right. Well, I guess give us an A-OK when it levels out, if it does.
If it levels back out, let us know.
Because, yeah, I was just saying.
Because I don't know. There's really much. Okay, sound works, great.
Yeah.
All right, at least we're getting the play-by-play.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing, we can't tell what's going on, and I don't know why, because I'm running it off myself.
Yeah, which
Cell
has
phone
been
should,
stable
which
the
has
last
been
few
great.
times. Yeah.
That being said, like I was saying earlier, with the Comcast guy out here, hopefully we will see that installation within 30 days, and if that's the case,
Then we'll have some
then
stability.
we have stability, we have nothing to worry about, we can actually plug
Yeah.
some
And
cool
hardwire
things in.
that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be,
Yeah.
please, we just gotta check some boxes off.
Yes.
Just need some boxes to be checked off that are
Yeah.
complete. Ugh, anyway, okay. That's why
Mobile data.
Yeah, and,
Yeah. Right now we're making the most out of little.
yeah, we're making
Yeah.
chicken salad out of chicken shit right now,
There you go.
just so
yeah.
you know.
There's, yeah.
This-
There's the expression.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, okay, so,
All right, so
back to whatever
yeah.
the hell we were
Oh,
saying.
Ben.
Hey, Ben
Hey, Ben.
Coombs, what's going on? Our preferred Canadian YouTuber.
Yes.
Uh,
And soda viewer.
oh yeah, yeah. Sody pop.
Yeah.
Okay, what the hell are we talking about?
Fender, the layoffs and/or firings. I mean, maybe I think people are probably interested in our side of it from, not that we have like some insider scoop or anything, but from our perspective.
Right. What's Ben saying? Never seen
Is that some kind of Canadian
Sans
French?
Chapeau? Chapeau?
Is that the?
Chapeau? I don't know what that
Is
is.
that a way? Is that what they call bald in Canada?
Toothless?
Toothless, yeah.
You toothless
toothless wonder. Yeah.
Oh shit, we definitely worked together.
I know. I was gonna say, 'cause I knew exactly where you were going with that.
Okay, so Fender lays off like 300 people. We've seen
Yes,
the article.
everybody knows about that.
Everybody knows about what's
Yes.
going on. So my thoughts on this is, I think what's happening is Fender. Okay, so if you guys don't know, Fender's currently issued a map relief on Squire products, most of the Squire products, until September, and I think it's been extended now
Oh, even
to
further.
the end of the year. I'm not positive. I got to go back and read an email because I did peruse quickly, and so I'm not quite sure if that's even out yet.
Well, yeah.
So anyway, but currently there is a relief, so it's about 10% off what the current map pricing is.
Right.
So if you go online and you see certain Squire guitars, they're actually 10% less than what. And he's like, no, it's more for you guys for volume. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So I paid full price and you guys.
And you guys
I
got
gotta
full
take-
boat.
And I got to take
Yeah.
10%
Yeah.
off and then still pay for shipping.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's not the greatest. But anyway, we still like Fender and Squire and we sell plenty of them. So we're okay. But
Well-
it's just kind of interesting.
And that sort of plays off, if we want to add a little more context, that sort of plays off the issues with the supply and demand all came to like this horrible kind of pin, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then essentially that pin let loose finally. All the vendors, basically one vendor, I believe, I forgot who you said it was, it doesn't really even matter, but one vendor essentially backed out of a massive order, which then freed up a lot of stock for other vendors,
Right.
which then flooded the marketplace, flooded the vendors, and kind of created a lot of havoc behind the scenes for the smaller dealers.
Now, they didn't,
Not intentional,
That's
but it
what
just,
we
it just,
heard.
yeah.
can't confirm, but that's what we heard. And it makes sense though, if we look at what happened, because all of a sudden things got accelerated.
Right.
And we got a lot more product a lot quicker. And I think some dealers are like, hey,
Right.
this is a lot. It's
Yeah.
it's like having a tsunami of gear.
Well, yeah, after being promised literal trickle, yeah, it was
Right,
kind
and
of
then
a
having
flood.
like a huge wave of gear come in. And I think what's happening now, and I think we kind of talked about this before a little bit in regards to the inflation stuff and the manufacturers getting caught up.
Yes.
I think, Fender has gotten themselves to a position of inventory has probably grown.
Yes.
So because I believe what we may see is some other map relief happening, not only from Fender, but I would assume we'd probably see some map relief probably till the end of the year, because I'm speculating.
Yeah.
But I think manufacturers have probably caught up to a
Yes.
degree.
or at least way more
demand.
so than they were versus the middle of the pandemic.
Right, because I think what's happened now is that we've had this huge spike of guitar sales.
Yeah.
Huge spike. Things are coming down to what I would probably consider normal levels of sales.
Yes.
It's not pandemonium anymore.
No.
It's just kind of getting back down. Now, inflation is slowing things down too, but I think it's coming back down to normal sales. And what's happening is now that demand is different
Yes.
for the manufacturer side because they still want us to buy all the shit.
Right.
Now, we're slowing down too because obviously we're the avenue to sell it. So I think what's happening is we may see some more sales in the next few months. So keep that in mind as a consumer, that sales may be showing up from different brands. Like I said,
Oh, you mean yeah.
yeah. I'm just saying some major brands probably are gonna have some sales. I'm only speculating because I don't know.
Well, no,
But
I
I think that's gonna happen. That way they're kind of opening up the release valve.
Well,
for
I
some
think it is
products
a
to get
safe
out.
bet based on, because basically everything, because honestly, inflation hit the guitar side of things long before this current wave of inflation that's hitting everything
And that was
else.
more supply chain though.
Right. Well, yeah, but that's because inflation, I think a lot of people do have a hard time, because it's like a global issue
yeah.
right now. It's not just, to the United States, but I think a lot of people do have a harder time grasping too that like you have industry inflation, then you have like global inflation, which is what is hitting kind of everybody right now. But the guitar market side of things, the inflation hit honestly within the first like month or two of the pandemic. It seemed like
It started to
and
creep.
it kind of just every few months the prices would go up again and then again and then again. And I think now, because like you've said, prices never go backwards. And so I think the only way that they can do it in terms of without devaluing the product from where it's at currently is, like you said, to do these sales. Because it's like you're technically not devaluing the product, you're doing a sale because the market now has, recovered. But basically, take 10% back, your one or two price hikes.
It's all right here.
Right, yes, yeah.
It's all gonna be right here. It's
Yeah.
all gonna be right here on the backs of the small.
Well, yes.
Or it's gonna be on the backs of the retailers. 'Cause
Well, yeah,
the
in terms of-
manufacturer's not.
Yeah, they're not
gonna
losing
separate.
anything. Yeah, they're not
gonna
losing
lose
10%. Yeah.
So we're gonna be kind of carrying that.
Yes.
Oh my God, with these texts, I'm not sending you any money.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that and automated.
It's the
yeah,
guy in
robocalls
Florida,
and all
and
this shit.
it's the guy in Florida, and then the guy that, like a fruit.
Yes.
So, anyway, they keep asking me for money, and I don't even know how I got on their list.
Probably one of
Anyway.
your relatives being spiteful or something.
No, it's probably just
Okay.
something I got on there. But anyway, yeah. So I think they're catching up, and then what's happening is we have a sale. Retailers are pushing more product out.
Yes.
Then that's going to equal out their manufacturing and bring it back, so
Yeah.
they can. They want us to sell the stuff so we can buy more shit.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
kind of what's happening.
well, yeah, and I think they realized, like the way it went a little too quick, too fast, or a little too much, too quick.
Well, I think Fender went. We're a Fender dealer, so I just think Fender went.
Well, I mean, this
so
is-
full
yeah.
bore because they had such an enormous increase in sales, and they had increased production for demand.
Right.
And now that's all leveled out, and so I know a lot of people are like that. They're like, well, F Fender and all this other shit. And I can understand where they're coming from, but I also I understand business. Now you've caught up,
Right.
and there's not enough. They can't keep all those people on.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah,
what is the
they were-
solution?
well,
How
yeah.
do you keep 600 or 300 people on? I don't feel good about that.
Well, this
but-
is like the shitty thing about hindsight is that even whatever position they're in, I think anybody that does any kind of business can sympathize because I'm sure they were trying to keep up and get back to, like you said, trying to meet the market demand because, yeah, you always do want to be slightly on that so that you're always continuing to sell stuff. You don't ever want to get to where, as a manufacturer, you would never want to get to where you have a huge amount of stock. Like you would
surplus.
never want, yeah. So I think they were trying to keep up because, like you said, sales were just so they were trying to keep up with it. The
best
only
year they ever had,
right.
2021.
Well, and the
I
only
believe.
option again is to fail at keeping up with that market. So like now, like you're saying, if as everything kind of either backs off or balances, they got to make the decisions one way or the other. But the only other option they would have had in hindsight was to just not meet the demand in the first place. So
right, and
it's,
how do you do? How do you
can't?
do that?
Yeah, you can't
You know,
know
so
that.
it's very slippery slope,
Yeah.
tough position to be in as a, you know, as oh, look at that,
Yeah.
as a manufacturer.
Well,
Because
and,
it's not an easy decision to lay off that many people. Now, who knows what that process looked like in the first place? It could have been a temporary position. You know what I mean? Those could have been temporary jobs, and they were upfront about that at first. Now, I don't know. Who the hell knows?
Well, no, and like
but,
Black Mantle
you know.
kind of says it, a great look to basically, like you said, remark on the fact that they had their best sales years ever recently,
absolutely.
and then lay off all the, because that, I gotta say, even from our side of it, was kind of a whiplash thing, because they had literally just said we had the best 2 years we've had, and then then you turn around and all of a sudden there's these rumors of the layoffs, and then it was confirmed, and it's like, damn.
And I think that is still a product of, we're not out of all this yet.
Yeah, no, we're still feeling repercussions of the
we're not out
pandemic
of
and everything. Yeah.
we're not out of the woods with what's happened with the pandemic, with supply chain issues, with the supply and demand of manufacturers and stuff, because now it's like everything is just one after another.
Yes.
You got this pandemic, and then all of a sudden, like, we're just starting to see the light out of that shit, and then we have, then we have inflation hitting us, which the writing was on the wall there. I think we were seeing some of that. We talked about it when it was happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, the accordion, the caterpillar thing that I've always talked about. It's
Well, yeah, and supply and demand, when it's over the top in terms of met, and then you have, like you said, that all comes to a screeching halt as soon as people start to feel it on the other side of it. So as soon as that backs off, it's like you have people on the other side of it, because like some people can weather it out, but most
I think
can't.
the smaller pedal companies did, and I think there are some.
Well,
I think I think some of the pedal companies were able to ride that out and just go, hey, we bust ass.
Yeah.
We need to bring a few more people on, but I think they were conservative about how many maybe they brought, like, way over the top. Because I know, like, guitar companies like Reverend brought on more people to do setups because their demand increased. But a lot of the pedal companies, I know that they did bring people on too, but I think being smaller and more agile of a company, they can gauge that a little bit better.
Well, that, and I think in a situation too with some of the smaller companies, you had more time, or you had more people with more time on their hands at home to actually look into who are they buying things from, or to like try to connect with some of these companies. Because it's like, even over the pandemic, I felt like we had a few of our bigger companies that did well, but really with the pedals, you're right, like the ones that really felt like they really started to surge a bit over the whole course of that were the small ones. And I think they were getting more of a direct, kind of like we've talked about even in the last few streams. Now without the NAMM show, you have all these manufacturers trying to connect directly with the consumers, which is not necessarily what was going on before. And I think that paid off for people that do it well. Companies that were able to do that over the pandemic, it paid off well to try to connect more with people at home. So,
and I think with some of those companies, I mean, I don't know, and hindsight can always be 20/20.
Yeah.
But maybe, hey, how many people do we need to cover the current demand?
Right.
I mean, I don't think anybody. I know we didn't think this ain't gonna last forever. Remember, I was saying the other shoe's gonna drop at some point.
Well, no, and if anything, we were thinking it was going to drop sooner than it has. Yeah. Not always, but
I think even with our business, it's it helped us. We grew, but I think we brought people on, but I think we've kept it reasonable and conservative going. I think we are going to be good here.
Yes, yeah.
Because if we went too crazy, then all of a sudden I got to let people go, and I don't like that shit.
No.
You know what I mean? I want to make sure we can take care of it. So I guess as a manufacturer, the way my approach would have been maybe like, hey, it's a lot of overtime, but we're also killing it.
Well,
when it does level off, everybody can go back to normal.
Well, there's that, or like I
then
said,
you're able to not have to,
Well,
hey,
yeah.
we're all going to eat because we're busy as shit. So put on your work boots. and let's get down to it.
Right.
And then in 6 months or 8 months,
That might,
like
yeah.
save your dough, and then it's gonna probably level out, and we can all go back to kind of normal. But everybody gets to keep their shit.
Right.
I don't know, but that's
Well, yeah, that would have been one way to go with it. I think, like I said, the other part of it, especially Fender because they were in a weird situation, and especially in California, because I think it was specifically the Corona factory, right, that they ended up doing the layoffs for.
I think so. I'm not, you know.
Well, yeah, and like, again, this is speculation, but I imagine, because as far as we know, during the pandemic, they were doing rotations of crews, so they were essentially doing
Almost 24 hours.
Yeah. So they had,
From what I understand, but I don't-
Well, no, from what we'd heard, they were telling us that they basically had 3 separate crews running at about 8 hours apiece that were all subbing out. It wasn't like, because I think traditionally they have some, some some people that kind of have overlap with each other. Whereas I think it sounded like they were kind of running these crews specifically so that if they had an outbreak, hopefully it would only affect, one group, not all 3 groups. And so I think by doing that, though, it probably created a situation where in order to keep the production at a certain level, doing those kind of rotations, they probably, like you said, they just had to hire the people to meet the demand or just not do it. It was like one of those things of like, because you could do the overtime, but with the way the pandemic was, especially in California, I think they were legally kind of, stuck in a spot where they had to switch people over after a certain amount of time. So I mean, I think it would have been a hard call either way.
And we don't know all the details of what.
Well, like you
and
said,
what,
yeah.
it's kind of like what you just mentioned. What was happening in California at the time, and what could they do?
Right,
If you
because they
can't
might
have
have
people-
supplemented that, these individual groups to try to make up the difference, but because they did that, they might have, had an excess of hiring compared to where things are, the way they are now. Because the demand too is just not quite as high as it was, so therefore, it's just, unfortunately, that is just the way things work, especially with manufacturing.
Yeah, I mean, things are starting to settle. But I mean,
That
I
was
hate
a
to see
good-
anybody lose their gig, but that's kind of where I'm
Yeah.
thinking. It's going to be interesting over the next the
Next couple
latter
of years.
part of the month or latter part of the year here.
Yeah.
So how things are going to happen I think we're going to see some discounting happening on many different industries. I think we've all heard about Target being overstocked.
Oh yeah.
So I think we're going to see a lot of that. Maybe some industries more than others.
Well, it's one of those
because
things
they're now they're
Well, again, when the demand is at its
catching
highest,
up.
when the demand is at its highest, you're scrambling as much as you can to fulfill it, because like you say, you want to, especially with the way capitalism works as a structure, you want to capitalize on it while you have that demand. Even so, I could even see a lot of those, like all the grocery stores and shit were having a hard time stocking. You hire more people, you do whatever you need to do to start making those things not be problems, and then as soon as you do that, if all of a sudden the economy does take a slight backstep, it's like then all of a sudden that stuff can just start to dwindle, and you got adjustments accordingly, which does suck. I mean, that's just the way a lot of those industries are. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how things move forward. And then to me, the biggest side of like our stuff that I'm still curious about is chips, because like that part of it has not seemed
crisps.
Well, yeah, some crisps, yeah,
Some crisps.
yeah, there's a distinct lack of flavor options. No,
No, they're
yeah, no, there's really not anymore. But no, the issue with that, like, I feel like, because we still have companies like Earthquaker and Electro-Harmonix and some of these other ones that are considerably larger that have issues making certain pedals right now because of the chip shortage still. So it's like, for that to still be a thing this many years on.
car manufacturers are gonna.
Yeah,
they're
same
still
thing,
waiting
yeah.
on chips for 2021.
Right. So
What
it's
are they
like,
gonna do?
yeah, when is
So-
that part ever gonna get caught up? Is the one I'm interested in. But
Yeah, because I'm still waiting on a vehicle that
Yes,
I ordered in the before the summer. Yeah. So there's a couple comments in here. Just had a bad look to Crow about
That's what we
right
already
before
talked about
announcing
that.
layoffs. Oh yeah. So House of Twang says thinner margins, higher indirect costs. You can have more revenue and still lose your bottom line. That's 100% true.
yeah, yeah.
Because we deal with it all the time. You got to remember, as retailers, we only get to make so much. That's why we get if you get beat up too much on pricing and stuff, it's like people don't understand our side of it. As a retailer, the manufacturer makes 2-3 times what their cost is. So they're eating fat off the hog, and then we get a little bit of that at the end, a tiny bit, and everything that happens cuts into our shit. Shipping goes up, that cuts into our shit, because if we have to pay for shipping to get stuff in, well, there's a cost. If we have to ship it to a customer, there's a cost. Boxes, packing materials, all that stuff, and we only get so much. We don't get that much. So we want to fulfill their margin and do that, so we can't. Like, especially in a competitive market with musical instruments, where we have to adhere to MAP policies and all that stuff. But then MAP is a whole nother issue, So I don't know, but yeah, your revenue could go up, and your profit margin can go to shit just because everything else is going up. We're feeling it. I mean, shipping prices have gone up. All the packing materials have gone up. I mean, we're in Denver, the city of Denver is raising minimum wage, so that's an additional cost that goes up. We try to do the best we can to pay the dudes, as best we can, but it's.
But even with the part-time stuff.
But even still, XL Energy, our energy provider is going up. So all that stuff, and it's like, oh, jeez.
Right.
Hanging on for dear life sometimes. Let's see. At least fuel prices dropped. Yes, a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, it's gone down about $1, a little bit over $1 here. It's like $3.80 or $3.90.
Oh, well, yeah.
So it was
close.
it was $5 just a month ago.
Yeah, that's true.
This morning when I got gas was $3.80 or $3.90. So that's a little bit, at least a bit of relief, and hopefully we'll see that continue to drop.
Ben says to just pay the guys and use pedals. You'd be surprised how often that afflicts all of us, but
we all got more gear than we need.
Yeah.
We all have more gear than we need. I got 2 or 3 guitars here, and I got a couple at home I'm putting on the chopping block too, just because, just as much as everybody else, tightening up, and I got guitars that I don't need. I don't play them. Let's make some room in my pocket, and go from there. So, what else? Who else got in here?
Looks like the Texas Toast guys joined. So
hey
Matt,
what's happening, dudes? We're just talking guitar market stuff.
Yeah, we were kind of actually touching on what you guys talked about in your last stream, which was the Fender layoffs, and which is kind of the big news of the week.
Matt's not high. Matt's a manufacturer. He's not living high on the hog just yet.
Right.
Yeah, you're getting there. You'll get there. Just pay the guys in pedals. Yep. House of Twang says, get paid 0.5 pedals per hour.
Depending on the pedal, that could get
real
expensive real quick. Depending on the pedal.
That's a great deal, because that can get real expensive real fast.
Yeah. That or we just start cutting pedals in half and like, here you go.
Sierra says, maybe I'll just buy a small Marshall combo. All right, come on in. Come on in. Is it getting dark? What's going on?
I don't know. I think that is weird. Actually, let me go ahead and turn some more lights on. I was gonna say, all of a sudden we are looking a little pale.
Like, wait a minute, what's going on? What is happening? All right, so what do you guys got for questions? Oh, there we go. Look at that. It's like mood lighting. It's very nice now. It's very nice. It's very. I told them where, and it got the one. It's
actually gonna get some water while I'm.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you need some too?
Yeah, please.
It is hot in here.
It's friggin' hot. So when I got in the building today, I got here a little later than I wanted. It was 95 in the building, and I kicked on the AC, and it may be like 87 now. So still a bit too warm for me, but all right. Open it up for questions. You guys got any questions for us? Regards, pedal industry, guitar industry, anything. I'll throw some shit out to you. So is that Serena? What are you looking for? I think we got an Origin 50, Origin 20. It says we only got an MG FX in the house. I do have a Marshall order in, by the way. Just so you know. We got a couple of Origins, don't we?
We do. Yeah, we got a 20
Origin
and a
combos,
50. And, yeah.
50 and a 20.
Maybe they're looking at used right now or something. I'm not sure.
Not sure. But there should be a few things in there.
If not, then obviously we gotta look
check
at
our
that.
inventory. We've been having internet issues
On
and
website
website
issues, yeah.
So that's a whole nother thing that's going to be a good fun time.
Right. Super fun, happy time.
Yeah, super fun, good times. Is the website is next thing to tackle. Because for some reason our checkout page went to shit, and we have had customers calling us going, "I can't use this thing that I've used before.
yeah.
Why can't I use it?"
Basically, had a
And
few
we don't
things
know
fall,
either.
yeah, like out of date or being updated. So basically, we have things that are just not jiving correctly on the website. So we gotta fix it. But
Yeah, and customer service for some of these companies is not wonderful. If you can find, I remember back in the day, where for customer service, like there was a number, good call, or an email right there.
right.
You know, your buddy that will help you at xyzcompany.com.
Yeah.
Now,
Until you basically end up on some automated service that's not helpful.
or
yeah.
give up,
Right.
or you just give up,
Right.
or just change services.
Yeah.
Because like we had an issue with Facebook, and there was zero way to get a hold of Facebook.
Yeah.
No phone number, no email address. I tried to reach out to them even on their fucking Twitter account,
Oh yeah.
and I tried to message them through Facebook itself. Nobody got back to me. Nothing. Not a damn thing. And I'm like, how are you the biggest social media platform in the world,
Right.
and you have zero customer service? I mean, what kind of horseshit is that?
Or not enough anyway.
I don't think
Yeah.
I feel like there's nobody.
Zero,
Like
yeah.
they just go, you know what? We're just too big. We don't need to help
Yeah.
anybody. Fuck them.
Yeah.
That's why we have hacked accounts. Everybody loses their shit. I don't
Yeah,
get
and you
it.
can't get No.
Sorry, I just got a aggravation with that.
Yeah.
Because customer service already makes us pissed, right?
Right.
Doesn't it already make us upset? And then when you actually need something, there's nobody to talk to.
Right. Well, a lot of people just direct it via those things too. So most people, these days, if you need help from a company, a lot of them will tell you to get a hold of them through their social media stuff. And
Yeah.
but, yeah.
It's like you're talking to Clippy.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
Remember Clippy?
Yeah.
Was that his name? Hi, I'm a paperclip. I mean, that's who you get now. You get him and
Yeah.
fucking what's the dinosaur for the Rockies? What's his name?
I don't know. Jake would know that one.
I know.
Rocky.
He's a dinosaur, but
Rocky
I don't remember
Marciano.
his name. But that guy would probably be more fucking helpful.
Yeah.
You know what I
Probably,
mean? Yeah. Is it Tigger? No. It's something like that. Dinger.
Dinger. Okay.
Dinger. Yeah.
That was a real dinger. Okay.
Yeah. It's a humdinger.
Dinger. Yeah.
Yeah. Dinger would be more helpful at customer service than freaking
Zucker.
Zucks. Yeah. You Zuck. All right. Anyway, what
So
do we
yeah,
got in here?
Texas Toast. So Matt's having a discussion on whether Marshall amps are still cool or not.
Yeah, they are. Not nearly as cool as the Fender Machete.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of depends, I guess, on who's playing it too, because it is kind of funny though. I do still think Marshall is the one that everybody, whether you play or not, especially people who don't play though, still think of Marshalls when they think like rock or metal or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like that is still there's an expectation of seeing, even with like the arrays of fake cabinets that a lot of like that Ingve uses and stuff. It's like a lot of that is just it's more of a look thing now almost. Like it's just so cemented in the way things are. But
in the
yeah,
culture.
just depends
I
on
think
who's playing it. But yeah, they're cool. I mean
I think they still got some juice.
well, I think they've been, like the Origin series is interesting. They finally are kind of releasing stuff for the people that are more into plexis but can't necessarily afford to go for an old one.
20-watt little combos,
yeah.
JCM.
So they've finally been,
style,
yeah.
Silver Jubilees.
Yeah, it's not all
And those are
JCM 800 stuff, which is nice because for a while it seemed like everything was evolving out of the JCM series, which is like, that's fine, but not everybody wants modern Marshalls. A lot of people still want some of that classic stuff. So.
A nice plexi.
Well, yeah, because I mean, whether you're a fan of the 80s or not, the 80s are arguably the greatest era of guitar tones. I mean, in terms of recordings.
Mostly.
Yeah, in terms of like recorded guitar, I think it peaked at least. If you're going to say there was a line in the late 60s up through the 70s, 80s, I feel like guitar tone peaked in the 80s, whether it was rough. terms of guitar tones, like
Somewhat was-
a lot of that overly scooped shit, or even a lot of the new metal stuff. Like I'm just not a fan of that overly scooped mids, chuggy. Like I love metal, but not that guitar tone specific. Bands that love old stuff that are making music now have the better guitar tones, like the ones that like the old stuff, but they want old guitar tones for modern music, and I think those are the better sounds these days.
Yeah, because I like some of the bands that we see around town that have like that 70s kind
Video
of,
froze.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, hopefully that's not the case.
What froze?
Serena says the video froze, but I'm not sure if that's We don't know if anything's working or not.
We could just do
Yeah,
this one.
yeah. Just and then just slightly switch it, like just like a frame back. Yeah.
Just fuck with everybody. Oh boy, good times here at the interwebs.
Yeah. So they
Hey,
said
we're
it is
back.
choppy.
It was.
Apparently.
Yep, the video gets choppy.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, until we
I don't
have,
know.
until the Comcast gods smile upon us, we're kind of stuck.
Yeah, until Ryan can get his people over here and knock all this stuff out, it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So, all right, nothing wrong with 80s. Matt's in here causing shit. Having a problem with an online fax service. Do people
Is that
fax?
is that people expect you to fax things still?
Well, I don't know who I was talking to. Was it Yamaha when I set up Yamaha?
Well, I mean,
Or
the
the company
expression
like-
of fax it right over is still a thing, but that usually means like email it or
Yeah,
scan it
that's
and
like
send it
Kleenex.
over.
Like, oh, just hand me a clean.
Right,
Right.
right.
It's kind of but I don't know what company it was. It was recently, probably within the last 6 months. I was filling out stuff, and they're like, "Oh, do you have a fax number?" I'm like, my answer was like, "It's 2022."
Yeah, that
Are
is
you
a
serious?
Little, yeah, that is a little odd.
I mean, who faxes anything? And why would you?
Other than maybe banks for like legal purposes, I could maybe see it, but
But why? You could scan an original copy and send it.
it's true. But maybe
Which
there's
is
an argument
which is
to
the
be.
exact same as a scan,
Yeah.
pretty much exact, better than a fax, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, although I don't know if the assumption, as we're just going off on some random thing,
Yeah.
I don't know if the assumption with the fax is that you're dealing with an original copy and therefore it can't be manipulated. I don't know. Anybody who still uses a fax that's in the audience, let us know what's the primary reason for continuing to use a fax.
Yeah. Make sure you dial 0 to get out, and then
Because lawyers fax stuff because they love paper trail. I would assume in legal senses is where it would come up, but
yeah, but why? But
I still think it
why
would have-
can't you just scan something and
because
send
I
it?
think because with a scan, especially if you did it as a PDF, you could manipulate the image as much as you want to and send over. Whereas with the fax, I think the assumption is you have an original and it's going directly. Maybe.
I don't know. Sounds like a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bunch of shit. All right, what do we got in here?
Just watch. We'll go back and watch all this, and like anything that was an important explanation or like
just-
anywhere
it
we
just
expanded
went
on a
to
thought,
shit.
it's just that's where all the chops are.
Let's see. We talked to John and Paul in India the other day. Colin Morning, I'm Georgia Ringo. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Serena, right? Says the Marshalls are still cool. I think Marshalls
Yeah.
are